Imagine this, your amygdala. It's like a paranoid little guard dog, barking its fucking head off at shadows, 'cause it remembers some old shit, some ancient betrayal, some high school embarrassment, some prehistoric saber-toothed tiger that isn't even there anymore. That overreaction, that's old data, outdated programming, and you've been letting it run the show. Now, science is sexy when you chunk it down. Micro-exposures, tiny nudges. You face the thing in a playful way, a toe in the water way, and your nervous system learns, oh, that didn't kill me. Dopamine drops like a little gold coin into the slot machine of your brain, saying, yes, do more of that. Neurons that fire together wire together. Suspicion rewired into curiosity. Curiosity wired into connection. That's the lab coat explanation, but let's make it real. Think of a kid on a bike. First time they wobble, they fall, they scrape a knee. That's your amygdala screaming, never again. But then dad, or faith, or life dusts them off, puts them back on, says, try again. That tiny push forward creates the circuitry. Not from a lecture, from practice, from micro-exposures. You already know this. You've done it 1,000 times. Now zoom the fuck out, big picture, chunking up. If you keep obeying that nervous guard dog, what's the cost? You shrink, you avoid. You miss connections, friendships, love, opportunities. You trap yourself in the echo chamber of better safe than sorry. That's death by hesitation. That's the karma of not acting. The compounding interest of regret. But if you played the other side, if you drip dopamine into your own circuitry with micro-victories, the trajectory changes. Suspicion becomes curiosity. You walk into rooms and see possibilities instead of threats. You open your mouth and people lean in. You wire yourself for connection instead of isolation. That's not just neuroscience. That's fucking destiny hacking. Let me give you a parable. Picture a farmer. He plants seeds but never waters them because one year a storm drowned his crops. That's the amygdala clinging to old trauma. But another farmer, he plants, waters, tends, little by little. And sure, some seeds fail. But over seasons the soil gets richer. The harvest multiplies. The future kids eat well. That's micro-exposures. Dopamine, heavy in learning. Done in dirt and sweat, not in theory. Which farmer are you living like? And I'll reframe the fear. You say, I'm afraid of people's reactions. Fine. Fear is energy. Fear is the body's way of saying, pay attention, this matters. That's not a stop sign. That's a fucking green light. Confusion, same thing. The brain loves confusion. It cracks it open, searches for meaning. And in that crack, it's where change sneaks in. You've been scared of confusion, but actually, confusion is the doorway. Why were you stuck before? Because you believed the bark of the guard dog was law. Because you were stuck feeling unsafe for being unsafe. That's the pattern. That's the loop. And loops can be interrupted. So let's chunk down, really small, tiny wins. You already do this every day. You taste food you've never eaten before. You try a new playlist. You send a risky text. You speak up in a meeting. That's micro-exposure. That's dopamine rewarding bravery. That's heavy in learning in fucking action. Now chunk up again. Extrapolate it into the future. Imagine 5 years of stacking these wins. You've rewired yourself into a different identity. A person whose default setting is curiosity. A person who sees social risk as adventure. A person who magnetizes connection instead of shrinking away. And if you don't, same 5 years, but spent looping the same old guard dog bark, the same avoidance, the same hollow safety that feels like a coffin. That's the contrast. That's the fork in the road. So here's the no bullshit truth. You either let old fear keep fucking your future, or you turn fear into fuel, curiosity into connection, micro steps into a life you actually want. The science says it works. The karma says the price of not doing it is regret. Your own lived examples prove you already know how to do it. And when neurons fire together, they wire together. Suspicion into curiosity, curiosity into connection. That's the formula. That's the upgrade. That's the truth you can't unknow now. Chunk it up, chunk it down. Play with the scale, because every tiny act of courage, it's not just a moment, it's a signal to your nervous system, to your future, to the universe. You fucking rewired destiny.